Brenda, thank you so much for joining us here at FundForum International 2018. You're here to talk really about what asset management means in 2018 and what their role is and how responsible they need to be.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having me. I think through the work of the 30% Club, we've really found that asset management is becoming more and more important in terms of really driving the change that we want to see. And we're very excited that our investor groups in the UK, in Australia, in Canada have become much more engaged in this topic.
So you're talking about a 30% club there, pushing for more gender diversity, particularly in boards in asset management. Why is that so crucial and what does that bring?
Well, so there's been so much research. There has been the Credit Suisse 3000 research, the Peterson Institute, McKinsey, to name but a few, about the benefits from greater diversity and really it's greater cognitive diversity, but we focus on the gender aspect in driving improved financial performance in companies. And it goes beyond just the financials. We see greater staff engagement, tapping into greater talent pools, better understanding the communities that these companies serve in. And so I think for the most part, companies now really understand that they need to drive better diversity and better balance throughout their organizations. And so our investor group are really focused on this as a stewardship and governance issue, but really as a performance issue as well. And they are now becoming very actively engaged with their investee companies in looking to see what they're doing to ensure that they're tapping into this.
And when you talk about tapping into this, newer customers are a different customer, we think, as well. So look at a millennial generation's expectations compared to historically. How does it differ and why is that crucial to success for companies now?
Well, I think when you look at asset managers and you look at their investee clients, we're seeing a real trend where millennials now that are starting to invest really care about purpose. They have a huge social conscience and they're really interested in ESG issues in general, from environmental sustainability through to diversity. And actually a lot of these attitudes are mirrored by female investors as well. And so in terms of the pool of investors that fund managers are trying to tap into, this is a massive pool that really hasn't been fully represented yet, and I think there's a huge potential there. There was a study done on the female side several years ago talking about, it was called Harnessing the Power of the Purse, and it was looking at all of the different types of female investors and basically saying this is the next emerging market. We used to focus on the BRICS and things, and they said that this could be a sort of 7% growth per annum in terms of the investment potential.
So it's a huge untapped market and it's one that has much different expectations in terms of what they're investing in. They do care.
Absolutely. I think a lot of these investors now are looking for outcomes. They're really looking, to make their money work for them clearly, but they see that having a positive social outcome does not have to be different from actually making money and having return as well. So we're seeing the launch of a lot more funds that are ESG focused. We're seeing new indices come in, both from the environmental sustainability side, but also gender-based indices. And we're starting to see investors start to try and follow these indices or look at new strategies that take advantage of this. A, because it creates better returns, but B, because there's a growing market of people that really want to invest their money in that particular way. And we're also seeing a lot from the big pension funds, the big asset owners. One of our big members is the Japanese pension fund, GPIF, and they are very focused on this as well. So they're starting to say to their asset managers, we want to see what you're doing in these areas. But also they're asking their asset managers what they're doing themselves in terms of having better diversity. And I think we've all seen recently in the UK in particular from the gender pay gap reporting that financial services has not been great in terms of gender balance, but actually fund managers are particularly bad. So I think there's a lot of pressure on them, both in terms of looking at themselves, but also in terms of sort of shifting their products now.
So you're very optimistic, it sounds, that this is a genuine embracing now of this, because in the past, I think it would be fair to say that lip service to a certain extent had been paid to ESG, but you think it really is at the forefront now?
Well, we're certainly seeing that. for me, just looking at how the investor group engages when we meet, and I'll give you an example. About 18 months ago, we created a statement of intent for our members of our investor group to say that they really had to go out and expect transparency from their investee companies. They had to ask about diversity, and that they had to be prepared to share and engage with others. At that point, we got 7 companies signing up to that statement, and we had about 1.6 trillion in assets under management. Today, we have 32 members in the UK and almost 11 trillion in assets under management. And that group is very active. So we'll look at companies, we want to see companies that are doing well, and we want to really hold them up and celebrate their success. Companies that are more laggards in the space, we'll talk about them at the meeting, and then we'll say, who owns these companies? Let's go in and have a constructive engagement with the CEO, with the chair. And in some cases, we have been part of the process that has created better gender diversity, not only on boards, but also in management and leadership teams. So there's a lot more work to be done, but the group is really cranking up the efforts.
It would be remiss of me not to congratulate you on your recently honoured CBE that you received.
Thank you
so
very
congratulations on that. And it takes people like you right at the forefront of this. So how does it make you feel being part of that movement?
It's incredibly rewarding. I think many of us like to think that we can create an impact and we can make good use of our time on this earth. And while those of us that are bankers and fund managers and things hope to make a difference in our day jobs, it's quite nice to feel in my early morning, late night and weekend job that I'm making a difference along with my team as well.
And it's quite motivating and inspirational for women coming through to see somebody like you doing what you've done as well.
Well, I think if I think back to when I started, there weren't so many women in senior roles, and so I've always felt that I'd like to help pay it forward, as they say, and work through mentoring and coaching and things. I have had a couple of very good sponsors and mentors in my career, so I hope I can do the same.
And here at FundForum, it's a great opportunity to meet some of those women in the industry. There's 1,500 delegates here. What does this conference do in terms of bringing you all together?
I think the conference, when I look at the agenda this year, it's got so much in terms of the new trends that are coming out. I just attended a fantastic panel on AI, but also there's so much on the ESG front. And we look at trying to solve some of the problems around, the huge savings gap that we're seeing out there, some of the problems with debt management and things, and financial well-being. It feels like there's much more focus on that, and I think the industry really trying to think about how do we help those that are not so great at managing their money, but also really help that retirement gap, and also thinking about the way jobs are changing with AI. So I think the focus of the forum is fabulous, and it feels like there's a lot of energy.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's fantastic to speak to you.
Thank you very much.